I think part of what's really, really missing in this society, and this is easy to say, people have said this before, but in actual education. I don't mean school. I do not mean school. I mean education. I mean people finding out the reality of life, finding out the reality of America's history, finding out about the history of the world. I had a chance yesterday to sit down with a school administrator, I'll call him, and he had many, many things to say about the current state of American education, but more than anything else, he was mortified at the way textbooks have changed throughout the years. Now, you as a nation, you have to make decisions on how to educate your youth, right? Especially if you're going to have government-run schools, which we shouldn't have, but that's another story entirely. If you're going to have government-run schools, well, you're going to make decisions as a culture on what exactly to teach the next generation about your nation. And you can go super, super patriotic the way American textbooks used to be. Maybe some people have an issue with that. That's probably not the only way I would go. I like the honest approach. I don't like what we do now, which is super America sucks, super anti-patriotic. I like the honest approach. I teach my sons about American history, about world history, and you know what I teach them? The truth. I find the truth. And the truth, as I've always told you, right? It's not simple, it's complicated. America has a lot of wonderful history. We have a lot of ugly things in our history. You're allowed to have open discussions about both, aren't you? Shouldn't you? And if you don't, if you only do what we do now in this country, if you only teach kids about how bad America sucks, I mean, that's how they're manipulating the children in this country. If you're a teacher, almost undoubtedly, you have been given some guidance, or maybe you hate America itself already, but you teach kids this. You don't have to stand up in front of the class and tell them, Johnny, America sucks. You don't have to do that. Just teach them all America is. It's killing the Native Americans. It's slavery. And it's the civil rights movement. All right, we're done. Have a good semester, everybody. That's what happens. It's lies by omission. Here's all the crappy things about you. Here's none of the good things. And if you want evidence that that's how we're raising kids these days, I give you Senator Tim Kaine.
The United States didn't inherit slavery from anybody. We created it. And we created it and maintained it over centuries. And in my lifetime, we have finally stopped some of those practices, but we've never gone back to undo it.
That is, without question, the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my entire life, and without question the dumbest thing on the floor of the United States Senate. It's not even just dumb, it's so historically illiterate. Tim Kaine should honestly consider getting himself checked out by a professional, and he should consider calling every history professor he ever had and asking them to resign. We created slavery. Slavery is awful. There's no defense of it ever. There's no defense of us having it or anyone else having it, but let's also understand slavery is the history of the world. The history of the world. It's not part of America's history. It's everybody's. It's everybody's. And we act as if America is uniquely bad when it comes to this. And the only way you can get there, to that absolutely moronic take, is if you've been educated in a school system that has only taught you about how badly America sucks. And not only do they teach our kids today, your kids, my kids, not only do they teach them how bad America sucks, they teach them we're uniquely sucky. It's not just that we suck worse than everybody else. And how? How do you get to where we are right now as a country? With every celebrity with a mouth, with every corporation trashing the country. How do you get there? Well, that's how you get there. You don't have to stand up in front of your class for years and teach them that Democrats are good and Republicans are bad. You don't have to do that. You only have to stand up in front of that class and teach them America kind of sucks and we should be brought down. In the end, it'll all work out exactly the way you want it to. Hey, thanks so much for watching The First on YouTube. If you liked what you saw, go ahead and like and subscribe. You heard me. Like it, subscribe. You'll get a lot more of it and a lot more of me.